If you think there are only two types of CSAK in BBMA, stop trading immediately. You are entering the market with a blindfold on. Welcome to Snipe Trading channel. Okay, welcome once again to my channel. If you are just joining us for the first time, kindly click the subscribe button, like and share it with all your friends so that they can also benefit from what you are going to be learning today. All right, today I'm going to be talking about the different types of CSAK. The different types of CSAK. Actually, there are 5 types of CSAK, but you only know about 2 because the gurus only tell you about 2. Probably they don't even know about the other 3 types. So today I'm going to show you the different types of CSAK. All right, so let's dive in. If you are trading BBMA and you don't truly understand CSAK, I can tell you right now, BBMA will not work for you. Most traders think CSAK is just an entry candle. Some know one type, some know 2, but in reality, there are 5 different types of CSAK. And if you treat all of them the same, you will keep forcing bad trades. In this video, I'm going to break down all the 5 types of CSAK in BBMA, show you what each one is used for, and most importantly, which one to trade. Okay? If you are serious about BBMA, this video is mandatory. So I would advise you take a piece of paper and a biro and write down what you're going to learn today. Subscribe, share the video with your friends, like and comment. Okay, I will really appreciate that. All right, looking at my screen right now, I will first of all explain my indicator. This is my indicator, Bollinger Band plus lightweight moving average with EMA combo. This is the one I use for my BBMA. Already, those who understand, so this video is not really meant for those who do not really know BBMA. I'll advise you go back to my previous videos and learn how the setup is. I advise you go back and learn the setup of BBMA. BBMA was actually made by Omar Ali. He's a Malaysian guy. He was the one who developed this concept. Okay, so I'm going to in the bio so that you can click it and watch how to set up your BBMA. Okay, how to set it up. However, I'm just going to make a little explanation on them. The first 2 red candles are my 5. These are my 5 and 10. This is how it looks like. Let me go to my settings. Okay, my 5 high is red and my 10 high is also red. My 5 low is blue and my 10 low is also blue. My EMA 50 is green, 200 is yellow, and 800 is purple. Okay, so I leave everything, I don't want it filled, I just want it blank. And as you can see, I've highlighted, I have taken the mid BB, so I know where my mid BB is. So that's how I do my setup. All right, so let's dive in. So like I said, the 2 red is for my 5 high and 10. The 2 blue is for my low 5 and 10. My green is for EMA 50. The black here is for my mid BB, and this is my high and this is my low BB. The yellow line here is for 200 moving average, and the purple line here is for 800 exponential moving average. Okay, all right. So today I'm going to talk about the 5 types of CSAK. Now the question you ask is, what is a CSAK? A CSAK is actually a candlestick direction. That's what it is. It's not a signal. It's just a confirmatory candle. It's just a confirmation candle. Okay, it only works when you have some certain requirements has to be met for it to be respected. So it has to respect the BBMA rules. It's actually a break of structure. If you really want to ask me, I'll tell you, it actually shows you a break of structure. That's what it is. So if you ignore the context, CSAK becomes a trap. Now let me show you the 5 types of CSAK most traders don't even know exist. Okay, let's start with the surface one. So I'll call it CSA1. So that would be the name, CSA1. So that's what I'll call it, CSA1. When does this occur? CSA1 occurs when the price goes below, or when the candlestick, let me use the word candlestick, when the candlestick breaks, when it breaks, let me use the word breaks, when it breaks the Malo 5 or 10 and close below it. Okay, that's CSA1. It occurs when the candlestick breaks Malo 5 and 10 and close below it. Okay, this signifies that the direction has changed. It signifies that the direction has changed. However, this signifies that the direction has changed. However, it may be valid. But it is not strong. It might be a valid, indication, but it is not strong. It's not a signal. It's only telling you that there is a change in direction. Okay, it's just like saying change of character, break of structure. There are times you have change of character, but it's not valid. And sometimes it is valid. Sometimes it might be valid, but it is not strong enough. You get? Okay, so I'm actually going to show you on the chart an example of this CSA1. So you will hear some people calling it early CSK. So it's actually, you call it CSA1 or you call it early CSA. You call it early CSA. So I'll use this 1 hour time frame as an example. You can see this candle got rejected here, meaning that it could not close above. This is my MA 5 and 10. It closed above, below it. This was where it started. It closed below it, came back here, closed below it, and then this major candle, this particular candle, now broke and closed below this Malo. The moment it closed below this Malo, it indicates that there is going to be a sell. Okay, there is a change in direction. There is going to be a sell. If you were to use line charts, you would see that it has broken a lot of structures. You see that it has broken a lot of structures. If you use line chart, it has broken here. It has also broken here. It has also broken here. So if you're trading, you look at the structure has been broken, because I told you that there are some rules that it will follow. You look at the structure is broken. Okay, see, this is broken, this is broken. All those V and all those V's have been broken by this one candle. But the major thing with the CSK is that it closed below this malo. It closed below this malo, the blue lines. It closed below the malos, the blue line. So that gives you, that's an example of an early CSK, CSA1. When price closes below, when price closes below the MA 5 and 10, you can see clearly closed. This candle has clearly closed. So this is a first indication that price has changed direction. You can see price was buying, it was buying before, but when this happened, it showed that there was a change in direction. Okay, so that's what CSA means, a change in direction. And let's look for another example. And this is for sell. Basically, this is for sell, change in direction for sell. This is also my lows, the blues are my lows, 5 and 10. This has also closed below it, showing indication that there is a change in direction. Let's look for another example for the sell. More example for sell. You need the candle to close below it. Here, it did not close below it. It didn't close below it here. Let's look for another example. Yes, this closed below it, but what we are looking for is only the ones that are close below, only the blue one, not the black ones, not the mid one, not the mid BB. I'm only looking for the ones that are close below the mid BB to show you change in direction. All right, that's a few I can see on this 1 hour time frame, but that's what you need to take note, that CSA1 occurs when the candlestick breaks below the man low 5 and 10 and close below it. It signifies that the direction has changed. It may be valid, but it's not strong. All right, so let's look for a buy setup. This is for a sell setup. Let's look for an example of a buy setup. Let's look for an example of a buy setup. The buy setup is once the candle closed above the MA. Okay, once it closes above the MA high, MA 5 and 10 high, you can see this candle has closed above MA 5 and 10 high. So this is an indication that this is a buy setup on this 1 hour. It's just an indication that this is a buy setup. It doesn't really mean that direction has 100% change. It's valid, but it may not be that strong. Price can still come back and come down, but this is an indication that price is trying to change direction to at least move up a little bit. You can see there was a sell, serious downtrend coming down, and then when this happened, what happened? Price just went up, but this was the indication that price was going to at least push a little bit up. You get, this candle closed above the red ones. When the candle closed above the red ones, from my indicator, this showed price was going to go further up. So let's look for another one. This is an example. It closed up, but not, I don't want the one that crosses the mid BB. I just want the one that will close up only, to show that market is going to go up. This is another example. It closed up, the red ones close above the two red ones, to show you that price is going to continue going up. It's not so strong, but at least that's an example of what we call CSA. Okay, for the sell, price is going to close below low 5, 10, 5 and 10. For a buy, price will close above. For a buy, the price will break let me use the word break, my high 5 and 10 and close above it. To now do, that's what it will do, it will close above it. Okay, I've shown you an example. So this is the first type of CSA1. So we'll call it CSA1. This is the first type. It's called CSA1. It is strong, but it might not be so strong sometimes. But it might also be valid, but might not be so, or also 100% valid sometimes. Okay. So along as we proceed, I'm going to explain when the CSAK is valid and when it is not valid. That'll be, so you need to stay till the end of this video so that you learn when it is valid and when it is not valid. All right. So we are going to talk about the second type of CSK. This was the first type where I said when the candlestick breaks the low 5 and 10 and close below it signifies the direction has changed for a sell, and it may be valid but it's not so strong. For a buy, when the candlestick breaks the high 5 and 10 and close above it. Okay, so that's when we look for a buy setup. Okay, but this is what we just call early CSK. It's just an early, that is just an early change of direction. That is just showing you that the direction has changed. Now I would still call it a signal. It's just an early signal just to show you that the direction has changed. So we will now go for the CSAK2, the second type. This occurs when the candlestick breaks my low 5 and 10, and also and the mid BB. Now in this second one, it's going to break two things: my low 5 and 10 and the mid BB. That is when we call it CSAK. This CSAK is a particular name. There's a name they call it in Malaysian. I don't know how to pronounce it, but in English you just call it candlestick direction. Now when this one happens, it may be valid, but it's also strong. It may be valid, it may also not be valid. It all depends. There are factors that will make it not to be valid, which I said if you stay to the end of this video, you are going to learn when it is valid and when it's not valid. So it may be valid, it may also not be valid. However, it is strong, and there are times it may not be that strong. When I say it's strong, it means that it is a strong signal. It's stronger than the CSA1. It's actually stronger than the CSA1. It's strong and also stronger than the CSA1. It's also stronger than the CSA1. So when this happens, it's actually showing you that there is a break of structure. There is a change in direction. There is a break of structure, and this one is happening if there is a sell. And for a buy, the price will break. The price will break above my high 5/10, to break above my high 5/10, and also the mid BB will also break above the mid BB. Okay, so this is for a buy setup, and this is for a sell setup. A sell setup, it breaks the low 5 and 10 and also break the mid BB. For a buy setup, it's going to break the high 5 and 10 and also the mid BB. So let's get into the chart and let me show you what I am talking about. So I'm actually analyzing gold, and it's just gold I'm using for an example to show you. So here we have, as you can see, this candle broke. I already told you the blues are my lows, 5 and 10. The red are my high, 5 and 10. So the candle here has broken the mid BB. This is the thick black lines is my mid BB. The thick black moving average is my mid BB. So this particular candle has broken the mid BB. This one broke the low and also broke, and this one broke the mid BB. It has to close below it. As you can see, this close below it. So when you see this happen, it means there is a CSK1 or CSK2. Sorry, I mean this is CSAK2, or you can just call it CSAK, or you call it CSA2. Okay, so this is an example of CSA2. Price breaks the mid BB and also breaks the low 5 and 10. So let's look for another example. Once you see that happen, the direction has changed to a sell. Sometimes it might be valid, sometimes it may not be valid. I'm going to show you the valid and not valid type, okay, as we proceed. So kindly stay till the end of the video. That's where I'm going to explain valid and not valid. Okay, so this is another example. Price came here, closed below, okay, closed below the low 5 and 10, and then pushed up a little, came back and closed below the mid BB. So once you see this happen, once it closes below the mid BB, it's an indication that this particular candle closes below the mid BB. Then there is a CSAK has occurred. Okay, it's a change of direction. As you can see, what happened? Price came down, moved and retested that zone, and then dumped. That's how it works. So if you don't understand CSAK, you will not be able to trade BBMA very, very well. Okay, but you can see what happened. This was an indication that price will go down further. So all you are going to look for is your re-entry. When price comes back, you enter, and then boom, sells. We'll talk about re-entries in another video. For this particular class, we're only going to talk about CSAK. Like I said, there are 5 types. You've only known 2, but I'm going to show you the 5 in this video. So let's look for another example of a sell. Another example of a sell is here. This particular candle broke both the low 5 and 10 low and also broke the mid BB. What happened next? Price, this was an indication that price was going to sell. What happened next? Price went to the re-entry and sold. Price went to the re-entry and sold. So this is just is not an entry. It's just telling you that there is a change in direction. So price came here and sold. Like I said, if you change to line chart, you see your break of structures. You see that the V's has been broken. The V's here has been broken. The support, the V's are the support. If you don't understand the line chart, I have a previous video also. I'm going to drop the link also, so you can click it and go and watch, so that you understand the V's and the A's. So once this is broken, it's also a break of structure. Once they are all broken, there's a break of structure. So that particular one candle that broke them showed that the direction was actually going to change. Okay, so with BBMA, all you just need is price closing below the moving averages and the mid BB. Price has closed below the moving average and also closed below the mid BB. An indication that direction is going to change and start selling. Now let's look for a buy indication. Okay, for a buy, price has to close above the high 5 and 10. My red moving average are the 5 high and 10. That is the red ones. That's the red moving average. As you can see in this candle, this particular candle price close above my high 5 and 10, or moving average 5 and 10 high. Let me use the word moving average 5 and 10 high, and also close above the mid BB. This is an indication that there is a CSK. That's an indication that there is a CSK that has occurred, and that price is likely going to continue going up. Okay, so we are just learning what CSK means. So this just shows you that this is a CSK and price is going to go up. And what happened when this happened? See what? Price went up, came back, retested, and boom, it went up. So if you have a good knowledge of CSAK, you are going to trade BBMA concept properly and accurately. All right, so let's look for another example. Let's look for another example of a buy. Okay, this is another example. Price broke the mid BB and also closed above the moving average 5 and 10 high. It also closed above the moving average 5 and 10 high. And what happened next? Price went up. Okay, what happened next was price went up. Let's look for another one. It has to close above. This is another one. This particular candle closed above the mid BB and also the 5 and 10 high. 5 and 10 high, which is the rate. This particular candle close above it, the mid BB. So showing an indication that if price comes back for a re-entry, this is your re-entry. We will talk about re-entry in another video. So price boom happened. I can show you series of all these on the chart. And so once you understand this indication, once you understand this first signal, it's not a signal that you should start buying. It's just an indication showing you that, look, I am changing direction. That's just what it means. So all you need to do is wait for the re-entry, and then you take your entry at the re-entry. That is just that for the CSAK2. Okay. All right, so we come for the CSAK3. We call it CSAK3, or I can call it CSA3. Okay, when does this happen? This occurs when the candlestick, I know why I'm writing it down so that you guys can copy it. Of course, when the candlestick breaks, when it breaks the low 5 and 10, that's moving average 5 and 10 low, and also breaks the mid BB and also breaks the top BB and the low BB, also breaks the top stroke low BB. So in this one, 3 things are going to happen, or probably 4. We'll call it 4. The low 5 and 10 low will be broken, the mid BB will be broken, and the top and low BB will be broken. Now this is valid. When you see this is valid. This is valid. Once these 4 things happen, it is valid. That is the fact. It is a very strong break of structure. This is valid, and it is stronger than, than the CSAK2. Stronger than the CSAK2. Now when you see this happen, this is now valid. Like, it is valid. The CSAK2 and 1 might not even be valid. They may not have high probability, but you see the CSAK3, it's a very high probability. It is a high probability trade. It is a high probability trade. It's a high probability. When you see these three things happen, it's a high probability change of direction. That is what it is. It's a high probability change of direction. Okay. And what other function does it play? Let me think about it. What other function does it play? Now, you are going to see it on one time frame lower. It usually occurs on one time frame lower. So I'll also type it. It usually occurs on one time frame. Usually occur on one time frame lower. That's it. It usually occurs on one time frame lower. So this happens when the candlestick, this is for a sell setup. This is for a sell setup. This happens when the candlestick breaks the Malo 5 and 10, also breaks the mid BB, breaks the top and low BB. This is a very valid setup and it's a high probability trade. And you'll see it one time frame lower. Meaning that maybe you saw CSAK 2 on a higher time frame. If you go one time frame lower, you are going to see CSAK 3. Okay, that is if CSAK 2 occurred on H1, you will see CSAK 3 on 15 minutes. Okay, nobody has taught you this. I'm just exposing this for the first time. So in order for you to learn and have a good trade for this year. All right, so let's dive in and let me show you on the chart. Now here, let me zoom out. Here where I have this my box here, we'll see that, let me first remove the box, then I'll put it back. We'll see that this particular candle, this one candle, close below, it got rejected at, yeah, another factor is it occurs at the extreme. I almost forgot that one. I almost forgot it. It occurs at extreme. It occurs actually always at the extreme, not at MHV or MLV. It occurs always at extreme, either extreme A or extreme B. Any type of extreme, it always occurs at the extreme. Okay, this is my 15 minutes time frame. So on this 15 minutes time frame, this is extreme. This is an extreme. Even though you say this is an extreme A, and then these were MLVs, but this is also an extreme. That's also an extreme. If you want to look at it as an extreme B, this is also an extreme. So you would say it occurs always as an extreme. That's one of another factor. It broke, it closed below the Malo, it rejected at the Malo, at the high 5 and 10. That is, it rejected at the moving average high 5 and 10, broke the mid BB, broke the moving average 5 and 10 low, and also broke the low BB. You can see it. This is my low BB, this is my top BB, this is my middle BB. These are my moving average high and 5 and 10 high, and the blue lines are my moving average 5 and 10 low. So this particular candle broke, it rejected here, broke the first one, broke the second one, broke the third one, and also broke the fourth one. So this is a CSAK 3. So this is the third type of CSAK. Once you see all this happen, this is a very strong indication that it is stronger than CSAK 2. But like I said, let me just mark it again. If you go one time frame higher, which is 1 hour, What do you think happened here? What do you think happened here? There was an early CSAK that happened. There was an early CSAK and probably an MHV that happened here. And there was an early CSAK. So is it that what you are going to see is an early CSAK or a CSAK 2? Is it that you see CSAK 1 or CSAK 2 on a higher time frame? And then when you go one time frame lower, you are going to see that CSAK 3. So invariably, the CSAK 3 happens one time frame lower. Okay, so those are one of the reasons why CSAK is going to be valid. Like I said, when we get to the end of the video, I'm going to explain why CSAK are valid and when they are not valid. So this is one of the reasons why they are valid. I've actually told you one reason now. One time frame lower is going to have CSAK 3. If you see CSAK 2 on a time frame higher, go one time frame lower and look for CSAK 3. Okay, so CSAK 3, what does it do? It rejects at the moving average 5 and 10 high, which is that you'll see it at the extreme. It will also reject the top BB, break the mid BB, break the moving average 5 and 10 low, and also close below the bottom or the low BB, the low Bollinger Band. When I say BB, I'm referring to the Bollinger Band. So this is an example of CSAK 3. So let's look for another example. They usually happen one time on a smaller time frame. Basically, they happen on smaller time frame, basically. But like I said, one time frame lower. So if you see CSAK on one daily, then you go to 4 hours and look for you go to 4 hours and look for this CSAK 3. Now, this is another example. It came to the top here. It came to this top here. It could not break above it. It got a rejection. Close below the moving average 5 and 10 high. Close below the mid BB. Close below the moving average 5 and 10 low. And what happened? It still came down. It still came down here, and this particular candle closed below the moving average 5, the low BB. So once you see this kind of things happening, it still means that price is going to keep selling. And what happened? It sold. It kept selling. It is a strong indication that once you see this kind of movement, it's a strong indication that price is still going to continue in that direction. And what happened? Once it came to a re-entry, it sold again. It came to another re-entry, it sold again. So if you are taking all these trades from here to here, here to here, you know, you would have made some profit. Let's say from here to here, that's 260 pips, because those are re-entries. And possibly from here to here again, that's 320 pips, because those are re-entries. So that's how it works. Like I said, this video is not for re-entry. I'll make re-entry videos. It's just to learn the different types of CSAK. Okay, so let's look for another example. I'm looking for them on 15 minutes. Okay, this is another example. There was a rejection here at the top BB. That's the first thing you're going to see, a rejection at the top BB. And then price will close below the moving average 5 and 10 high. Break the mid BB. Break the moving average 5 and 10 low. And then close below the moving average, the bottom BB, the low BB. This particular candle close below the low BB. If I go one time frame higher, let's see what we will get. We go one time frame higher, what are we going to get there? Okay, so this is it. If I go one time frame higher, what am I going to see? What I'm seeing is price close below the mid BB. It also closed. This is a CSAK. So it actually had a CSAK, So what made this CSAK on 1 hour to be valid was that 15 minutes CSAK. It was that 15 minutes CSAK 3. That was what made it to be valid. What happened? Price came to the re-entry and sold. Price came to the re-entry and sold. For those that understand BBMA, they understand what I'm saying. Price came to the re-entry and sold. So the 15 minutes CSAK 3 made the 1 hour CSAK 2 to be valid for a sell. So when price came back for a re-entry, it was valid, it sold. Okay, so and vice versa. If you are looking for a buy setup, the same thing will happen. Price has to close above the moving average 5 and 10 high, close above the mid BB, and also close above the low BB, and it will have a rejection at the low BB, and then it will close above, it will also close above the high BB to show you that it's going to continue. Let's look for an example. Okay, see here, it rejected here at the low BB. There's a rejection, then price will first close above the mid BB. This is the first thing it will do. It will close above the moving average 5 and 10 low, move order, also close above, find a way as it's moving, it will try to close above moving average 10 5, the mid BB as well. Which one close above this particular candle? Close above this mid BB. It might range, you just see it ranging, but what you are looking out for is price closing above it. If it closes above here, let's just mark here as CSAK buy, and then we'll go to our 15 minutes and look for, this is our CSAK buy, because price has closed above the mid BB, also closed above the moving average 5 and 10 low. Remember we said when price closes above moving average 5 and 10 low, and also the mid BB, that's the CSAK buy. Okay, so let's go to 15 minutes and check if we have, let's check if we have a CSAK 3. Where is it? It's over here. So let's see if we have CSAK 3 there. Okay, so what was my explanation for that CSAK 2 to be valid on 1 hour? There must be CSAK 3 on 15 minutes. So you can see there was a rejection here. There was a rejection here on 15 minutes on the low, and then what happened? Price closed above the moving average 5 and 10 low, closed above the mid BB. You can see this candle, they all close above the mid BB, and also close above the moving average 5 and 10 high. So that's it. That's an indication that I told you that once that happened, that CSAK on that 1 hour is valid. Once you see this on one time frame lower, that CSAK on 1 hour is valid, very, very valid. What do? You wait for a re-entry. Where did the re-entry comes? It was here. This way we had a re-entry. Or you go to your 1 hour and look for the re-entry. It's valid. That CSAK is valid. Once 15 minutes print a CSAK 3, can see a rejection at the bottom. Everything just like I explained. So you can look for other examples. I will tell you to backtest it, look for other examples, and try to see if you will be able to trade exactly that way. Okay, because that's a simpler and easier explanation, and nobody has shown you. Look for all the BBMA stories on video. You will not see anybody telling you what I just exposed to you. You will not see any video that will talk about 5 different types of BBMA. Okay, you won't see. I don't want this video to be too long, so I'm going to do the part 2 and post it. It's already too long. I don't want it to get too long. The part 2 will be the continuation of the remaining 2 CSAK and also